Hey guys, I just wanted to tap in on a topic I think is important to discuss, especially in 2023. I think this is the time right now where you have a lot of people becoming entrepreneurs. You have a lot of people um, creating side hustles, side gigs, just looking for ways to create additional income to their everyday income. And I think that's a smart thing to do. It's a necessity to actually pursue, especially during these times. But I think there's a method of how you do it to where you don't burn yourself out, or you don't get discouraged, or you don't get to a place where you just feel like, you in the same monotonous scenario that you was in when you was with your 9 to 5. Um, Obviously, being an entrepreneur takes more work because you don't have nobody to fall back on. You don't have a contingency, so to speak, that can, if something don't go right, that you can kind of blame the company or something of that nature. It's really dependent and contingent upon you and how you produce. And one thing I think about being an entrepreneur is integrity is important. Following through with what you say. And you're not always going to be able to do that. There's things that happen, but, being honest, doing what you can to make right of situations and trying to be as transparent as possible, I think is key. Because in business, obviously, mistakes happen. But one of the main things I think is important is I think a lot of people that become an entrepreneur, or a lot of people that have become business owners, they get to a place where they work so much in their business that they don't have the ability to work on their business. And that's a space that I think you have to be able to get to at some point, or you will burn yourself out. It's a necessity for you to be able to create a space in your business that allows you to scale, allows you to create freedom, allow you to work on the areas of your business that holds, that allows it to continue to grow and build. And so if you do that and you do that properly, you'll not only be able to help yourself, but help people around you and help grow, your team along the way. So I think you need to really, really take focus into that and make sure that when you're operating in that space, you're operating in a place of, okay, how can I bring value to the people around me, and how can I be consistent, and then how can I scale that on a consistent basis. And one of the things that I see in doing that, it starts personally with establishing your credit. Because when you establish your credit, you don't want to get into a place where you're trying to run a business, but you're running a business strictly on your income. Because if something goes wrong, you're in a place where you're held liable. And when you work hard for something for a period of time, and then that don't go right, it immediately discourages you to want to put more money up in that space because you're afraid of what the outcome could be. But if you have your credit together, and if you're in a position where you really, really, where you're able to learn and how to leverage your credit, one of the main things that you can do in doing that is building your credit. Because when you build your credit and you establish you a LLC, establish you a business, now you have the ability to get business credit. You have the ability to even get personal and business credit, and you can utilize that as leverage. And that is something that is a necessity. So if you do invest in something and you take a loss, it's not a direct loss off of you, and you're able to really, thank you, gracias. You're not able to, you don't have to worry about being in a place where you're to your knees now, and you can really bounce back, and you can use that loss as a lesson. And I think that's one of the main things. Sometimes we're afraid to take losses because of the outcome that it may put us in doing that. But it's important to take losses because of the lessons that you bring. It kind of helps sharpen the blade a bit. You know what not to do the next time. You know what steps you need to do moving forward. But if you exhausted your income, your money, you don't have the ability to continue. But if you have leveraged money, and for the average person who doesn't come from money, credit can get you $100,000, $200,000, that you can utilize. And if you're a person that's being used to working off of $1,000, $2,000, imagine what you can do with that. And you can create a contingency for yourself. And I always tell people, man, listen, you can utilize your loan to pay the loan until you create that leverage in the way that you need to. I tell my clients all the time, listen, when you get funding, when you get that, put you 12 months aside out of that, so you don't have to worry about each month that payment being due. We work where we get 0% interest for a lot of our clients. We show them how they can liquidate those funds into cash so they can utilize that cash but keep that 0% interest. There's a couple of ways when you get funding that you want to be able to minimize your risk. And I think it's risk management is the key to everything, whether you're trading stocks, whether you're trading crypto, whether you're trading, whether you're just in a business that you're managing. Risk management is everything. And when you're having funds, we have multiple ways that we help do that. Whether it's us showing them how to get 0% interest on their cards, leveraging that 0% interest, you get it for 15 months. You get to 10 to 12 months, okay, we'll get you another 0% interest card. Transfer that balance over. Now you have 30 months. It gets to that next thing, get another one. Now you got 45 months. So that's a space that where you continuing to keep it at a minimum that you're having to pay, while it's giving you more room to be able to leverage your credit along the way. That's one way of risk management. The other way is, like I said, take 12 months, put it aside. Out of those funds, you get $100,000. You got at 0% interest. You can put 12, at max $15,000. Put it to the side. That's going to take care of the whole year of those payments. Now that you have that whole year payments taken care of, now you got what you got, $75,000. If you have a company such as myself in it, you're still in a space where you have 85,000. But if you have a company like myself, you might be at 75,000, because we're going to get you more funding on that. But if we do that, you got $75,000 to work with that you don't have to worry about the pressure for an entire year or 15 months. So now that you do that, you can now utilize those funds consistently and do it in a way that you don't have that pressure. And the last thing that we say is, and of course, you get to that space where you do that. When you get to the 10th month of that time, what we're going to do, we're going to increase. We can double that amount, because you're showing consistent payments. So now you might have got you 100,000. Now you got 200,000. With that 200,000, we're going to rinse and repeat the process. You put another 12 months aside. Okay, we do that for another 10 months. You do it again. We're going to turn that 200 into 400. Because now you're showing great history with the banks. Now they trust you. Now they see that you're responsible. That's what you have to do. And you did it all with the funds that was utilized for you. So now you can you got 75,000, take 20,000 and find you a passive income stream. Right now, what I do with our clients, we have where not only do we fund our clients, but we also show them passive income opportunities. That's a fraction of the money that we help them acquire. And when we do that, now they're able to have a store that's running for them. We may have them with a setup with a Shopify store with 100% automated that's ran for them. Well, now that money is paying the entire loan that we've gotten them just from that store. And they've only had to spend less than a quarter of the money that we actually acquired for them. So they still have cushion money to do what they want to do, but they also have those funds that they can do that can basically help pay itself. So I gave you 3 to 4 risk management areas of how, when you acquire the funds, you can utilize it in a way to keep yourself protected, but also allow yourself to grow and scale. Because what you want to do is create an avenue where you have passive income. You create another avenue where you're building relationships with banks where you can continue to grow your capital that you've acquired. And then on top of that, you're also able to focus into maybe a passion project of yours that you're still trying to build, but you don't have to build it overnight, because you have these things that is allowing you the breathing room to build it properly and really establish the foundation to it. A lot of times we're rushing the foundation because we need it right now. But these are ways right here that can allow you to still do the same without having to need it right now. And you can take your time on your process. I think that's extremely crucial, and I think that's something that a lot of us, we take for granted. So I just wanted to give that bit of information to you guys, let you know that at the end of the day, man, we're in a time right now where you must diversify. Find you someone. If it ain't myself, find you someone that you see, that you believe in, that you trust, that just that what they're saying makes sense to you. It connects, and if it connects, go for it. The worst case that can happen is, you get what you get out of it, you move on to the next. Like I said, nothing's a loss, everything's a lesson. You take the meat and spit the bone out of anything that you deal in any component of your life. So why not do it in your business? You know what I mean? You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You just need to have people that's gone down that road and experience and learn from them. And I just recommend, I think sometimes we get caught up in our own, either our own ego. We've been in a place where we've been taken advantage of in our life. We got people that's taking advantage, so we don't trust nobody. But if you can't find a space to trust somebody, you're going to be in a place where you have nobody. So you have to be able to take that risk. And sometimes taking that risk may take that loss, but you know, okay, I don't want to do business with that person ever again. But then you might find a person in between that you find that you can't put a price on the value of that person in your life. So you just want to make sure that when you're going out here and you're looking at, that's the perspective that you having when you go out here, you know, and you building. Because it's vital, man. You know, with inflation, with things that's happening in the government, the things that's happening right now, it's tough. You know, we don't know. It's a lot of things is unpredictable. So you want to put yourself in a space where you can have an asset that no matter what the currency is, no matter if something collapses, you have the ability to still adjust, bounce back, or not even bounce back, stay up on, you know, in that. And then you create you a network that's the same way. So you don't have to worry. If you do take a loss, you got people that, you know, that trust you enough to, and that you trust enough that's not gonna let you go under. So man, yeah, man. So any of the entrepreneurs out there, the inspired entrepreneurs, man, I salute. I think it's a necessity. I think it's something that it's not easy. You know, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. You know, I've never technically worked a real 9 to 5. You know, but that came with me having to take pitfalls, take some losses, and I've definitely taken some losses. But in the midst of those losses, I've always had a lesson. It was always a silver lining in it. It was always something that I gained, that I realized it couldn't be taught to me. It could have been taught, but in some areas I had to feel it in order to know it. You know what I mean? So I can speak from a testimonial standpoint, not a speculative standpoint. So I think that that's important in anything that we do. Man, salute, good luck to anybody that's out there pushing for theirs and their family, pushing for themselves, trying to, you know, better themselves every day, trying to improve themselves every day. And in the midst of doing that, man, you know, I respect that. I salute that, you know, because I know what that journey's like. So, yeah, man, shout out to this beautiful day, man, and, you know, stay focused.